Hey, Damon Davis here. Welcome to the program. By the way, before we get started and I introduce you to our amazing guest today, want to remind you, please, to connect with us on social media networks. We got some amazing things going on. We want to let you know about, this program has been a platform to bring you someone who could add one thing to your life, right? It's the one idea, one strategy, one solution to shape your thinking and to help you win today. So my guest today is Dr. Richard Marks, and it is a pleasure to have him on the show. Hey, how are you?
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. This program is especially exciting for me because we're talking about, well, I'm just going to use the name of your organization, Relate Well.
Relate Well. Yep.
Is what we're talking about. There's so many people that are going through life struggling in tough relationships, not just those at home, the personal ones, but the professional ones. And many of us do not understand the connective tissue in relationships. You're a doctor, an earned doctor of?
Okay, I have a PhD in counseling psychology.
Counseling psychology.
I have a master's in marriage family therapy.
Okay.
A master's in education.
Okay, wow.
I have a bachelor's in psychology. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm a clinical fellow with the AAMFT. Ordained minister, and I like to say CIA, UFO, EIEIO, right? got a lot of those on my name. But really, the reason I do what I do is because I grew up in a broken home.
Okay.
And so much of what I teach and learn isn't just my academics. It's also the journey of what I've walked out in my own life.
Wow. I have found that most people come from some junk.
That's how I got into this.
That's how you got into this.
I was born in Miami in 1961, raised mostly in Georgia. My parents divorced after 5 years of marriage. I was raised by my dad and my stepmother. My dad had a generational issue that he got from his father. It was an anger issue. My dad had a violent streak. I think around 10 or 11, my dad bought a cow prod, used to shock us. There were 4 kids.
Bought a what?
Cow prod, used to shock us.
A cow prod?
Cow prod.
I mean, one of those?
Yep. Moves a cow or move a kid, I tell you. You know, he always lived in fear of it. And my little brother got the worst of the violence. And my little brother had to be on the Biggest Loser TV show, by the way.
Well.
Season 5. He dealt with all his pain by eating.
Sure.
And that pattern stayed with him for a while. And till he got some healing.
Your brother was overweight. A lot of people overweight. They're filling the holes in their life left by that junk they came out of with stuff.
In particular, it would actually be you're filling the hole because you're deeply alone and disconnected.
Okay.
When you grow up in a broken home, you never learn to bond. You never learn to attach. We were created to be loved and for loved. But when you grow up in a home where you never know that you're loved, you never know you're valued, that moves you into aloneness, and that aloneness moves you into isolation. And we know that there's the old saying that it's not good for man to be alone.
Yeah.
You can be married and very much alone.
Yeah.
You can be single and not alone. And so all of us kids grew up in that aloneness, which is pain.
And fear now.
Now, fear will
and
keep
you. had fear too.
Oh,
okay.
Fear of failing, fear of never being good enough, a fear that I'm not lovable.
Got it.
And then I leave home. I became a Christian at some point, right out of high school. But I learned something. If you're dysfunctional when you become a Christian, you're dysfunctional afterwards. You know, Christianity is not immunity from your humanity. However, I left home, but I took with me all that old thinking, all those ways of relating, all those ways of behaving. And so when I got married, I've been married 35 years at this point in time, and I'm grateful for a strong marriage, but I did not know how to bond. I didn't know how to attach. And so all my old survival strategies doesn't work in the present when you're not learning, when you're not surviving anymore.
You just said...
We don't know how to bond.
Yeah. So you're married, pardon me, ladies and everyone else watching, just going to be kind of really graphic or direct. You're, I'm sure, intimate.
Yep.
Okay, so you're married, you're intimate, and you can't bond. Just explain that. Explain what you mean by bond.
All right, so all humans have to emotionally attach to other people.
Okay.
The failure to attach emotionally, you can call that bonding, you can call that attachment, you can call that intimacy. And intimacy is not about sex. Relationships require a level of intimacy. That's about emotional openness, being vulnerable. When we're vulnerable to other people and they're vulnerable to us and you feel safe, you create an attachment. Matter of fact, the #1 health crisis in America today is loneliness.
God.
And there are health companies that are seeking to proactively find ways to reduce loneliness and social isolation. Well, I've been working in that realm for 25, 30 years, teaching people how to bond, because I had to learn it as a young adult.
Oh my God.
And so when you don't know how to bond, you're going to bond to something.
Yeah.
Even if that means alcohol or drugs or pornography or food, because the hole in the heart must be filled.
Yeah.
And so you turn to objects to fill the hole.
Okay, so this is a career.
Workaholism? Yeah.
Drugs, all the normal stuff we know about. That clinging.
My wife said it this way.
Okay.
You're like a boulder around my neck in those first 8, 10 years of marriage. Because I was so emotionally needy, I was sucking her dry. It's like a psychic vampire, right? Just take. Because what I'm looking for is the deficiencies that I never got by my parents. Why? They didn't have it to give me, because they never got it.
Wow.
So you can't give somebody something you don't possess.
Got it.
You see?
So you weren't a pro then. I mean, I hear you saying stuff that you understand what it is now.
Back in those days, I was walking it out, trying to figure it out. Fortunately, I was teachable, and I came to a point where I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I sought out mentors, and I went to trainings, and I went and transformed my life, which now leads to what I would call Relate Well, which is much of what I've learned, not just academically, but also my own journey to go help others have intimate, connected, healthy relationships at home, in marriage, in work teams. So we like to say it this way, we're actually improving outcomes for people's life by improving their connectedness.
Connectedness as in?
Friend to friend.
Friend to friend.
Husband, wife.
Okay.
Parent, child.
Okay.
You to me.
Yeah.
And in a work team.
Is it really that important?
It's essential. Again, remember, the number one health crisis in America is loneliness.
I heard you say that. I mean, I wanted to, pull some statistic out here about cancer or, diabetes or these kinds of things. But then as you said that, I was quiet listening because on my own health journey, I discovered long before what we put in our mouth, what I'm calling secondary food, there's a primary food.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff we all need, love and appreciation and
yes.
And now, connectedness.
Connectedness, bonding, attachment.
Bonding.
We created to be loved, and we're created to be a vessel of love to other people.
Give me the definition of love.
That's a tough one because there's so many out there. In our world, we like to think of love as not just an action, but an emotion.
Okay.
There's a thought out there that says love is a choice. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to live in a home where I don't feel loved, but I know she's choosing to love me. I want to live in a home where you feel the love. There is an emotional component to love. And when love happens, we say this way, love is experienced when needs are met. So there's 10 core needs, emotional needs that are hardwired into the brain at birth, which will be with you to the day you die. And just like food, air, water, and shelter, they have to be met as well. And quickly, they're comfort, attention, acceptance, appreciation, approval, affection, respect, encouragement, security, and support.
Wow.
We're not meant to live life alone. Wow. And our culture is so disconnected.
Yeah, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about the enormous amount of messaging in pop culture and media that is so focused on you and has very little focus on the importance of people around you, other than how you look to everybody else, image.
And what other people do for you.
Exactly. So Relate Well is a company. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call it a mission. It's a crusade for you, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It comes out of my own journey.
Yeah.
Doing things wrong in my first few years of marriage and as a dad, transforming that man who he was and to be a healthy, mature adult, and then taking what I've learned and basically to culture and saying, look, there is a better way and a different way, and I can show you how to create it.
Got it.
That's where we're different. We teach the skills, we teach the tools.
Gotcha.
I don't tell you to be slow to anger. I show you how to be slow to anger. That requires regulation of the brain. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't tell you speak the truth in love. Love has a tone to it. Well, since love has a tone to it, you better regulate the brain because brain regulation will dictate your tone.
Wow. So this organization that you have founded based upon your own journey, you're now making available these services to, is it corporations? Is it individuals?
Corporations, individuals, churches.
Okay.
We'll train churches in our material so that they can have lay people go teach these things.
Got it.
Our goal is to create video-based programs they can learn online. And currently we have what's called Relate Well Institute,
wow,
which is training therapists and pastoral counselors how to use the 9 core sessions in their main curriculum, how to use that with couples and counseling.
Wow. I want to talk about those 9 core principles.
Mm-hmm.
Give us an idea of some of the things that we will experience as a business or as an individual when we come in contact with your organization.
Well, the first thing you're going to learn is the fundamental of how do you know when you have a healthy relationship with someone. And I like to define that as you will always have a sense of us, us. I always say this way, take 2 to make an us, 1 to kill it. If you and I give to the us, we'll have it in the relationship, and we'll also feel the connection. If I do something that harms you, there will be a breakdown in us. So 2 to make an us, 1 to kill it. Requires humility, by the way.
Yeah.
So there's 4 things that I've identified over the years that if you become this way as a way of being, you have these 4 traits as a way of being, you'll protect every relationship you have. The first is you got to operate with goodwill.
Okay.
One of the things I had to learn to do was treat my wife with goodwill, treat people with goodwill. When you're wounded, you don't know you're treating people with ill will.
Yeah.
And if you want to sow discord,
Is that hurt people?
In a sense, it is, but
Okay.
this is really more of that. I want something, so I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you in order to get what I want, or I'm not getting what I want, so I'm going to punish you. All right.
Wow.
And so, goodwill means I want to make sure that whatever I do always seeks your best. It's about benevolence. So if I know that I'm treating you with goodwill, then I know that I'm loving, because love never operates with ill will towards somebody. The second key word is respect. Now, respect is about honoring and valuing someone.
Oh, it's so big.
All right, now, think of it this way. If you're talking and I keep cutting you off, interrupt you,
Yeah.
because I want to say something.
Yeah.
To interrupt someone when they're talking is disrespectful.
Sure.
Here's what I've learned. Love always treats people with goodwill and respect. Always. And so I ask myself, is the way I'm treating my kids, the way I'm treating Luella, is the way that I'm treating you or someone else, am I goodwill and I'm having respect with them? If I knew that I was, then I knew, at least in terms of what I brought to the relationship, I'm treating you with goodwill and respect. I knew I was loving.
Yeah.
The third word was humility. Now, we don't like that word a lot, or we think we know that word, but here's what I've learned. Only mature adults can live a life of humility. Immature people cannot.
Explain.
All right. So 2 books I can think of right now. Ben Sass's book, The Vanishing American Adult, and the second is The Death of the Grown-Up by Diana West. Both books point out very clearly that what we have mostly in the West right now is emotional children raising children. We are an adolescent nation at the emotional level. Look at how we deal with conflict.
Yeah.
Mature adults deal with conflict a very separate way. So since we have mostly emotional children raising children, you wonder why our culture is collapsing?
Sure.
Because maturity requires emotional development. You can be a brilliant person, but very immature.
Yeah.
When I got married, was an emotional child. In our curriculum, we actually talk about what is an emotional infant, what is an emotional child, what is an emotional adolescent, and what does a mature adult look like.
So you could be 70 years old
and still a child.
But if you were to explain to me culture today, because it's crazy out there.
Think of it this way, all right? When you see people who've been hurt or offended, and they deal with that hurt or offense by hitting, throwing things, burning things, whatever. Think about it. What age hits when they're hurt? What age throws things? It's a child. Mature adults don't throw things. Children throw things. Children say, you're not going to tell me what to do. That's teenager. Adolescents live that way. That was my father. I love my dad, but he was an emotional adolescent when he died. And so the adolescent says, you don't tell me what to do. Example, the number one reason college freshman males are dropping out of college the first year is video game addiction. Why? They have not learned maturity to deal with responsibilities in life. They're still irresponsible, which is what children and adolescents are. And so you see this pervasive emotional adolescence. Yeah. So in reality, when I started learning this 30 years ago, I was an emotional child acting like an adult. That's what I really was. But the more I did it, because I was passionate about becoming that, I became that man over time. And the last one is empathy.
Define that, though. I'm sorry.
Empathy is...
There's sympathy and there's empathy. There's a difference, right?
All right, sympathy is I feel sorry for you.
Okay.
Most people don't want you to feel sorry for them. Empathy means I can step into your shoes and feel what you feel.
Okay.
I get a sense of how it is for you, and I care.
Okay.
And one thing I think our listeners need to realize is when you send a message that you care how it is for someone, remember, it doesn't mean you agree with them. That's important.
Nice.
Caring how it is for someone does not mean agreement.
Got it.
That's just a validation of your experience.
Got it.
But out here, and I call it out here in life and time in the real world, No, I don't agree.
Yeah.
Because there's other factors involved.
But that's an important one.
Yes. So if you want to think of it, and our graphic is you have us in the middle to protect an us,
Okay.
goodwill, respect, humility, and empathy. A breakdown in any one of those four will harm a relationship. Relationships in your work team, if your work team is disrespectful to each other, you're going to have problems. Why? You're breaking down relationships.
Got it.
If you operate with ill will towards each other, or you as the boss have ill will to your team, your followers, they're not going to trust you.
No, they're not going to respect you.
Exactly.
They're not going to,
And you're operating in pride, not humility.
Yeah. I was told managers are people you have to follow. Leaders are people you want to follow.
Very much so.
Is that right?
In our corporate program, we actually lay out real in detail, this is what a manager is, this is what a leader is.
Okay.
Jesus was a leader. I always said, great leaders wash feet.
Yeah.
Managers get you to wash their feet.
That's good.
That's real simple. It's the Jesus way.
That exists in home too, though, right?
Very much so.
So children at any age, parents need to be respected and those types of things. But there's a lot of kids being raised in homes by children.
I was that way. My wife came from an alcoholic home. She was too. So we had to learn to do it differently. And we had teachers and mentors come in and teach us a different way. And now we're using that journey to go and empower and inspire others.
So you meet with an individual.
Mm-hmm.
You're either training the trainer, or you meet with people who are trying to improve the culture in their company, solve some stuff, or individuals that are trying to figure it out. Where is your starting point? Where do you begin with us? If I came to you, do I know what's wrong with me? Or do I just...
I'm glad you went there.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you where I start. I prepare your brain to be teachable. Nothing is possible in a person's life if they're not teachable. Mature people are always teachable. Immature people are not. So the first thing I do is I prepare their brain to become teachable. I let them know in life there are things that you know and there are things that you don't know. But let's be honest, there's a lot of things you don't know that you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I live in the world of knowledge that you don't possess yet. I'm going to possess in you things that I know. In other words, in your profession, there are things that I know that I don't know, but there's also things that I don't know about what you do.
Exactly.
And I just don't know what they are yet.
Exactly.
Right? Same thing. I bring to the table a wealth of knowledge about healthy relationships and healthy living. But people tell me I'm wrong. I go, how do you know I'm wrong? Well, I just know you're wrong. Well, you're not teachable. I may be right. Would you consider the possibility I might be right? Well, yeah, great. If you live in possibility, then you're open to transformation.
Okay.
Most people won't change because they don't live in possibility, and that's because they're not teachable.
Why?
It's because, think of it this way, all right? So this whole table represents all the knowledge that exists in the world, right? But that's all they possess of it. That's my portion, that's your portion. My portion of knowledge is different than yours. But what happens is we live in such a way that we think that our portion of all of this knowledge is all the knowledge there is. But what we don't know is there is much more you don't know in the world. As Jesus said, or God said, my thoughts aren't your thoughts and my ways aren't your ways. Why? I have a far greater knowledge base than you do. So what I do is I just help them come to realization that, look, is it possible that this is what you know and that's what I know? Yes. Are you open to the possibility I might know something you don't know? Yes. Would you stay open to that possibility? Well, sure. And then I say this, I usually go, if I said to you, did you know you have an anger problem? And you'd say, no, I don't have an anger problem. I go, well, how do you know? And you would say, because I know, because that's your raw knowledge. I go, but how do you know? You said you know, but how do you know? Because I know, Rick. I go, I got that, but how do you know? And you say, because I know. Because you live in what you know you know. And then I'd say, well, did you know you do this, and you do that? Things you don't know, you don't know. And you'd say, no, I didn't know I do those things. You do, and those things suggest you have an anger problem. I don't have an anger problem. What you don't know is you do have an anger problem.
Yeah.
You're not willing to consider the possibility that what you think you know is something you don't know.
Wow.
And it's the first place I start. Because once they give themselves permission, and I said it, they give themselves permission to be teachable.
Got it.
Then I can show them what they don't know and then go, oh, I am an emotional child. I am this way. I go, yes. And I never beat them up.
Yeah.
They go, well, I do this. What does it mean about me? I go, I don't think it means anything about you. It just means you do it. Well, what does it mean about me? We always want to attach a label to it.
Yeah, we do.
I go, don't attach a label.
Yeah.
It's just what you do. What matters now is how do you want to be? Keep it up or you want to change it? I want to change it. Here's how you do it. And then I show them the path.
How do you want to be? That's a very interesting question. There are people watching that feel like they have done so wrong, been so bad, it's too late to fix.
Mm.
And they have almost fallen into, damage is done.
Resignation and cynicism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you help with that?
Yes, I do. First thing you do is when you know you've messed up, I go clean it up. If you've messed up, just clean it up. How do you clean it up? Einstein said something a long time ago, which is pretty brilliant, because he's brilliant anyways. Make things simple, no more simpler. We make things complex, and if people don't know how to do it. How do you clean up something when you mess something up? It's simple. Move to humility, admit you're wrong, and ask them to forgive you, and go change it. It's that simple. But that's how you clean something up with someone. Godly sorrow produces repentance.
Yeah.
And so just go ask for forgiveness, then go change those things. You need support to change it, get the support system to change it. Just clean it up and move on.
Yeah. Our show's wrapping up. I want to get selfish for just a moment and speak to the part of humanity, which is, what is in this for me? Things are okay. I got it together. Maybe I know something's wrong, something's off in my business, my relationships. But if you were to tell me on an elevator, if I'm moving from floor 3 to 1, you got about that much time, what is in this for me to make a call, to connect to you and this organization? What would be that answer?
If you want to improve your life, your relationships, and to end up with a life that where it thrives relationally in all aspects of your life, we'll show you how. Because ultimately, it is through your relationships. Because all of life is about relationship. No matter where you go, you require a relationship. Do them well.
Can it move my career forward?
It can move every aspect of your life forward. It could move your career. But I'm going to say it this way in total honesty. My father had a lot of money, owned a helicopter, and when he died 35 years ago, he died empty. He had no relationships, connected with all 4 of his kids. And everything he earned, he left behind.
Jesus.
I'm not living that way. On my deathbed, I'm dying with few regrets. And the way you do that is all of my relationships with my family, my kids, those important to me, are deep and connected. I die in peace. That's how I'm going.
We never saw a U-Haul following a hearse.
No, you don't, do you?
No.
Unless it's going to pass it on the interstate. Move on. Right?
So what you're really talking about is something priceless. Greater than money. Money can't buy it.
Mm-mm.
True happiness, peace, joy, feeling loved.
Comes through relationship with God, self, and others.
Yeah. How is your life today now that you know? How is Dr. Richard Marks today?
I'm at peace. People always ask me, how are you doing? I always say relaxed, and they're bothered by that word, relaxed. I wish I could be. I go, you could if you choose it. I have a strong us in my marriage. I have an us between me and my kids. The most important part of life in my mind is the relationships you have around you. Everyone, when they're healthy, is an us. I have an us in my marriage. It's a strong us. I feel it. I have an us with my kids. I feel it. I have an us with my friends. I feel it. And that is the essence of life. Because when you have strong, healthy connections, biologically you thrive. Emotionally and psychologically you thrive. And personally, I believe when that happens, people come alongside you, as I'm finding now more than ever in my life, and they help you achieve your dreams and goals in life. Why? Because they believe in you and trust you, because they know how you are as a way of being, and they have a connection to you. You don't help people you don't connect to, but you really help people that you've learned to love and that love you.
Wow. Dr. Richard Marks.
It's been my pleasure, buddy.
Relate well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for tuning in to today's very special program. We're going to call it an Inside Edition. And I appreciate your investment of your time with us today. I trust you've heard something that has motivated you to discover more. And as I always like to say on this program, sometimes our guests intersect your today to help shape an amazing, amazing tomorrow. See you next time.
Can you lose 30 pounds or more in 30 days? Now you can. You can finally lose the weight you've always wanted, not by counting points, not by prepackaged fad diets, and without exercise or unnecessary medications, but by brand new cutting-edge technology that's been proven to work through testimonial after testimonial. Guaranteed. Your first step is to pick up the phone and call the Zoe Weight Loss and Body Balancing Expert team of trained doctors and health consultants right now. Zoe's technology-based biometric body analysis utilizes cellular biocommunication to identify specifically why you're gaining weight and having difficulty keeping it off. This information targets specific biomarkers that have fallen outside of their healthy range. Step 2. Based on your biometric body analysis, the Zoe team develops a targeted plan based upon your body's unique needs. They'll determine precisely what food and supplements your body needs in order for your body to achieve internal balance, thus eliminating unnecessary body fat, toxins, and bacteria that cause weight gain. Step 3. Simply follow the plan for the next 30 days that's been specifically designed for you by Zoe's technology and team of weight loss experts. And for the first time in your life, you'll now have the tools to maintain this healthier, slimmer version of you for the rest of your life. When you follow your body's targeted plan, you can expect incredibly fast results and lose up to 30 pounds or more in just 30 days. Sustainable weight loss while eating real foods, reduced need for prescribed medications, overall improved health through internal cellular balance, including joint relief, lower blood pressure, and increased energy. At Zoe Weight Loss and Body Balancing, you'll be on your way to fat loss and true wellness for the rest of your life. It's that simple. How much would you pay for overall wellness? How much would you pay for as much as 2 pounds of weight loss per day? All of this without pills, expensive exercise equipment, or prepackaged foods. Absolutely! Exclusive to this program, Zoe Wellness Center is offering the initial consultation and the biometric body analysis for only $30 for a limited time. The biometric body analysis and consultation is normally valued at $100, but with this special offer, you will receive $70 off the price if you act right now.
They not only talked about weight, but they told me what was going on inside my body. When they say you could lose up to 30 pounds in 30 days, I was really skeptical, but I kept losing that, about a pound a day. This really is working, and I need to keep following this because it's really going to pay off.
You now have no more excuses to get started on your weight loss journey. Call now.